Good morning. We are grateful to gather both online and in person this morning as the Unitarian Universal Society for a time of music, inspirational words, reflection, and connection. I am Lori Enlow, your worship associate this morning. If you are visiting our service today, welcome. We hope you find the service meaningful. If you are here in person, I would invite you to either turn off your phone or else both silence it and put it in airplane mode so that it does not interfere with either our service or our Wi-Fi network. As Unitarian Universalists, we don't all believe the same things, but we recognize the sources of our living Unitarian Universalist tradition. One of those sources is direct experience of that transcending mystery and wonder, affirmed in all cultures, which moves us to a renewal of the spirit and an openness to the forces which create and uplift life. Today, we will be reflecting on that source throughout our service as we begin a series of services that explore each of our 6 sources.
And I'm the Reverend Diana Smith, the minister of the Unitarian Universalist Society, and it's wonderful to be with you all this morning. In these times of change, it is so important to be together, to come together as a spiritual community, to gain the sustenance that we each and all need, and to help nourish each other. As members of a covenantal faith that expresses our core value of love through how we agree to be together and to support each other, it is good to come together and to affirm that even when we cannot yet all be together in body, this congregation remains strong and connected. To affirm that we have faith and hope in this congregation, in each other, and in the ways we continue to grow together during the challenges of life. And to affirm that wherever any of us is on our life's journey, whether we come to worship with joy in our hearts, weighted with burdens, in need of rest, or searching for people to engage in the struggle with us, we are glad, and this community is glad that we are here. This morning, we're back to being in person as well as online. You'll also, if you're here, have noticed a few changes in the sanctuary. We've started to have a children's area in the sanctuary. Those used to be around sometimes in the past, and it will be here in the future, so that when we have kids, if you want to be here in the sanctuary, you can be in the children's area or elsewhere in the sanctuary. Now this morning, we're going to start our worship service with a poem by Mary Oliver, who wrote, "Every morning the world is created under the orange sticks of sun, the heaped ashes of the night turning into leaves again, and fasten themselves to the high branches, and the ponds appear like black cloth on which are painted islands of summer lilies. If it is your nature to be happy, you will swim away along the soft trails for hours, your imagination alighting everywhere. And if your spirit carries within it the thorn that is heavier than lead, if it is all you can do to keep on trudging, there is still somewhere deep within you a beast shouting that the earth is exactly what it wanted. Each pond with its blazing lilies is a prayer heard and answered lavishly every morning. Whether or not you have ever dared to be happy, whether or not you have ever dared to pray." And so with that, we'll join our voices in singing hymn number 86, "Blessed Spirit of My Life." If you're at UUS, please sing softly into your mask, hum, or move your hands or body with the music. If you're at home, please feel free to sing as loudly as you'd like. And if you're here, you may rise in body or in spirit.
Stand if you like. Blessed Blessed Spirit of my life, give me strength through stress and strife. Hear me, live me with dignity. Let me know serenity. Fill me with a vision. Clear my mind of fear and confusion. When my thoughts flow restlessly, let peace find a home in me. Spirit of great mystery, hear the still small voice in me. Help me live my wordless creed as I comfort those in need. Fill me with compassion, be the source of my intuition. Then when life is done for me, let love be my legacy.
As Unitarian Universalists, we light a flame within a chalice as a symbol of sanctuary and safety, to unite us in worship and to remind us of our ongoing search for the light of truth. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the wonder and mystery of this great gift. So let us now kindle the flame of our liberal religious heritage and renew our covenant of mutual love and care. Love is our doctrine, and the quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer, to dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, and to serve those in need. This we promise, this we covenant with life and one another. Each week, we light a candle for justice and healing. We hold space for our understanding of our interdependence, that our liberation is bound up with every other person's liberation, and our feelings of rage and heartbreak over the ongoing pandemics of illness and racism, the devastation of the climate chaos, and the waves of trauma washing over our world. We light this candle to help us hold space together for processing what is happening in our lives and in our world, and to remind ourselves that together we are creating resilience and hope. We light this candle that we may not be numbed or lost to the injustice, devastation, illness, and trauma, but rather find strength, courage, and love together to continue engaging with the struggles for liberation, justice, and healing. Today, as we light this candle, we're particularly mindful of the people of Ukraine, shaken by the sudden warfare with Russia, and people who find themselves in the midst of wars and armed conflicts everywhere. And we're holding in our hearts trans-beloved their families in Texas, here in Iowa, and everywhere, that systems are denying their full humanity. As the candle is lit, let's hold a time of silence to listen to our hearts and bodies, or perhaps to lift up prayers. As we listen to our centering music, please take this time to sink more deeply into the presence of each other. Joining in the singing if you wish. If you are online participating in the service and you would like, please turn on your cameras and spend this time beholding each other's faces, each other's presence. And please feel free to use the chat to let us know that your chalice is lit.
There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding all. I rest in this love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love.
And now, if you're online, please turn your videos back off. Unitarian Universalists have many different beliefs, but are united around a shared value of love, and that it's important to live love actively, to express love through how we live our lives. We also have a shared set of values that we talk about as our principles. If you know how many principles we have, if you're here, show me how many with the number of your fingers. That's right. Pretty much everybody got that right. We currently have 7 principles, everybody whose hands I could see. Now, some of you may also have said we have 8 principles. UUS is beginning to study whether we should have 8 principles. Now, raise your hand if you can tell me at least one of our principles. Okay, how about 2? Anybody know 3? More than 2? That's great, that's amazing. All right. Now, one of the things that's different about Unitarian Universalism is that we commit to reviewing and changing how we talk about our beliefs and our values on a regular basis. We do this because we know that our beliefs and our values and how we talk about them change as the world changes, right? And we learn more about what we need to do to live love actively in the world at certain points in time. This might mean changing from 7 to 8 principles, or it might mean changing how we talk about them even more. And this is interesting because right now, Unitarian Universalists around the whole country are in the middle of a review like that. In addition to deciding if and how we might need to change how we talk about our principles, we're also looking at how we might change the sources that we draw our faith from. If you know how many sources we have, can you show me with the number of your fingers? All right, a little bit more doubt there, but a lot of you knew that we have 6 sources. Raise your hand if you could tell me what one of those sources is. Okay, how about 2? All right, well, it is so good that we're going to do this today because it looks like our 7 principles are better known than our 6 sources. So for the next couple of months, we are going to be learning about what we currently call the 6 sources of Unitarian Universalism and reflecting on how they inspire us and if there are things that it might be important to talk about differently. I'll give you a hint that one of those things that people are saying we might want to talk about differently is talking about Unitarian Universalism as a source of our faith. It's actually not listed in our sources. Can you believe that? It's funny how we think about things, but these sources still give us a place that we turn to when we want to learn and grow spiritually. They give us inspiration, and we learn from them. So to help us begin learning about our sources, up here on this table, I have 6 items, one to represent each of the sources. Which one should we look at first? I need somebody to help me out. Tell me which we should look at first. The plant? All right. Okay. For those of you who are online, here's the plant. Okay. So that plant represents the spiritual teachings of earth-centered traditions, which celebrate the sacred circle of life and instruct us to live in harmony with the rhythms of nature. By paying attention to nature and learning from people whose spirituality is based in the earth, we remember that we are connected to each other and to the whole universe. We learn to be kind to ourselves and to respect all of existence. All right, which one do you want to learn about next? Which one? The statue. Okay, the statue. All right, here's a statue. I think these are the ones people can see the best, because everybody sat towards the very back of the sanctuary. For those of you who are online and can't see everybody did the classic, sit back, back, back. So the statue here represents Jewish and Christian teachings that call us to respond to God's love by loving our neighbors as ourselves. Unitarian Universalism grew out of Jewish and Christian religions. We continue to learn and grow by following the teachings of love found in those religions. All right, we need the next one. We've got a book. We've got a bird on a branch. Oh, no. We've got a little Lego statue. And we've got a necklace. A necklace, okay. I'm also going to get my cell phone so I can see if anybody is voting online. So, necklace. So here's our necklace. This necklace, you can't actually see it, but it has symbols of lots of different religions on it. Because wisdom from the world's religions, because this represents wisdom from the world's religions, which inspire us in our ethical and spiritual lives. Now, this source is really, really big. It means that we learn from many different religions and that we learn from people who have beliefs that are different from ours. Okay, we have 3 left. I need another vote. The bird? I heard the bird loudest. All right. So this bird represents direct experience of the transcending mystery and wonder affirmed in all cultures, which moves us to renewal of spirit and an openness to the forces that create and uphold life. Now that's kind of a lot of words. What do you think it means? One of the things it means is that this source is different for every person. It includes all of the things that happen to a person in their life that connects them to the mystery and wonder of the universe. And we're going to talk about this source in a lot more detail today. All right. I got a vote from the sanctuary and from online for the Lego source. So this one represents humanist teachings, which counsel us to heed the guidance of reason and the results of science and warn us against idolatries of the mind and spirit. We also develop spiritually by looking at science and thinking about whether or not things that we do and believe make sense in our lives and in the world. And so that leaves the book. You may not be able to tell, but this is Howard Thurman. And this book represents the words and deeds of prophetic people which challenge us to confront powers and structures of evil with justice, compassion, and the transforming power of love. So this means that we listen to people who are trying to do good in the world and that we learn from them. So that is a little bit about our sources. And as I mentioned, we're going to talk about source number 1, which is about experiencing transcending mystery and wonder, the things that we see and that we do and feel that connect us with something bigger than ourselves today. Now, before we do that, we're going to start back to something that you used to do that I've never done with you before. We used to sing our children to religious education activities. Now, we don't have any children here in the sanctuary today, but we're going to try this out because we've been working on finding the music. We're not completely sure that we know what we're doing yet because none of me or the music staff were here 2 years ago when you last did it. So we're going to practice today. And you'll tell us later
Yeah,
if
tell
we
us
did this
if it's right. It was quite a treasure hunt because this did not exist under this name in the music library. So asking people what the heck this was what my whole week was. All right. Go now in peace, may love guide all your ways. Beauty be the blessing of your nights and days. Truth on your lips and kindness in your deeds. Faith to follow where the human spirit leads.
Alex. All right, now I'm going to invite everybody here and everybody online into another kind of activity. Because we come here to Unitarian Universalism and to UUS today from many different religious backgrounds. Many of us were raised outside of Unitarian Universalism, and many of us were raised as Unitarian Universalists. What's more, we have different beliefs and different language about church, and we've come and we have different things that we like in worship services that help us feel welcomed, renewed, and transformed. Some of that has changed, and some of it has stayed the same with online and multi-platform services and other activities. And so to explore how our religious backgrounds, the ways that we were raised as children, and our past and current religious experiences, including our experience of mystery and wonder, affect us as we move into our exploration of sources that inform Unitarian Universalism, we have an activity to do together today. Now, in a minute or so, Lori and I are going to start reading statements and invite you to move to different places in the sanctuary if you want to, or if you're at home, to think about it or maybe put something in the chat based on how you feel about each statement. You might be at one end of the spectrum that we're creating, in the exact middle, or somewhere else. So you can participate by moving around or not if you want to, as you prefer. Whether it's because of COVID concerns, mobility concerns, or because of where you are emotionally today, you're welcome to stay seated or to move around during this part of the exercise, or you can sit for this part of the exercise. If you're online, you can think about it, you can write things down, or you can just reflect. Now, if you're here in the sanctuary, what I'd invite you to do is come up to the front if you want to move around. If you do, you may be caught on camera. So just so you know, your image may be broadcast. And so I'll start this out. Here's our first statement. I was raised in a faith community. Now, if you were definitely part of a faith community and you attended regularly, even if the community you were part of changed, you can move over to this part of the sanctuary if you want to get up. If you and your family weren't part of a religious community, you can be over here. And if you and your family were part of one, but you didn't attend regularly or you didn't talk about it, you can kind of be somewhere in the middle. Or you can stay seated. Just say like, yeah, oh great, thanks for sharing.
Okay. All right. Thank you all for coming up and getting this started. So again, as we're going through this, we might be shifting around in the front here or being seated. So the next statement is, I am happy with my religious or non-religious upbringing. So let's just to get a little movement, let's put the happy people over here. Let's put the not happy, no, maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. Yeah, let's do it. Not happy people over here and some of both in the middle. So if you're happy, you're over on my left. Happy with how you grew up, with your religious upbringing or non-religious upbringing. Not happy with it, you stay on that side, or some of both come to the middle.
All right, we're sort of scattered around with this one. Okay, our next one. I believe in a higher power, whatever I call it. Let's have the I believe in a higher power folks over here. It may be something that's pure energy and that doesn't interact with us, or it might be something that's active in our lives, but somehow I believe in a higher power. If you believe in a higher power over here, don't believe in a higher power over there, not so sure, somewhere around here.
Okay, so we've got the whole spectrum. We're all spread across in the front of the church. The next one is, it's important for children and youth to be raised in a religious community. So let's put the yes, definitely over here. No, it's not over on my right. And then somewhere in the middle, stay in the middle. We're trying to give you guys a little exercise this morning.
Okay, we got a lot of clumping happening. All right, here's our next one. One of the ways I learn about what's most important to me and grow spiritually is by being in community with others. Yes, definitely. No, being in community is not important, or somewhere in the middle. Oh, one of the ways I learn about what's most important to me and grow spiritually is by being in community with others. Community.
Okay, so the scale is tipping a little bit. All right, caring for the earth is the responsibility of religious communities. Yes, definitely, over on my right. No, it's not on the left. And then somewhere in the middle is in the middle.
Okay. And I'll just say that I love also seeing those of you who are online and are sharing your thoughts, that there are people sharing online as well as people who are simply reflecting internally online. Our next one is that challenging systems of oppression is a responsibility of religious communities. Let's go ahead with yes, definitely over here. Lori's making people move a lot. I'm going to be not so much. So yes, definitely challenging systems of oppression is a responsibility of religious communities over here. No, it's not, or somewhere in the middle.
Okay, the next one is comforting and healing people who are hurting and caring for people in need is the responsibility of religious communities. Yes, definitely. I'm being mean. Yes, definitely come over here. No, it's not. Stay on my right, and then somewhere in the middle.
Okay, thank you. And I appreciate that one of the people online lifted up, yes, it's the responsibility of the whole community, not just the minister. Looking at that, right? I'm not sure how much everybody who moved in the sanctuary was thinking along those lines, but yeah, we're talking whole community, right? And it's definitely something that we see in Unitarian Universalism. Okay, we're almost done. I do regular spiritual practices. Now, if you do regular spiritual practices almost daily, whatever those are, but you think of them as a spiritual practice for yourself, will be over here. If you don't do spiritual practices, or you're just not sure what they are, you can be over here. And if you just don't do spiritual practices as often as daily, kind of somewhere in the middle.
Okay, thank you. Here's the last one. It's important to me to experience mystery, awe, or wonder, and it helps me renew my spirit and be open to the forces that create and uphold life. So on my right, I experience this regularly, whether it's with people, in nature, meditation, or something else, or do practices to help myself experience mystery, awe, and wonder. On the other side, I don't really experience this, or it's not important to me, on my left, and then somewhere in the middle.
Thank you so much for sharing. I'm going to let you go back to your seats now. Thank you. Thank you whether you were in person and sharing by moving around or sharing by reflecting, or if you were online. Thank you. And now, I'm going to invite us all into a time of meditation, contemplation, and prayer, sharing with you some words adapted from the Reverend Gretchen Haley. This is a call to weep, to rage, to raise our voices, to get real with the words and the wishing, for the world to work to look different, for the breaking to stop, the healing to hold. This is a call to courage, to let in all the headlines and know them as family. Our sibling fleeing Ukraine, our cousin wondering about their worth in Texas or here in Iowa, our frightened friend watching the Supreme Court from Mississippi, and our uncle in Michigan unsure who to trust. This is a call to hear each other in the one more thing that has tipped our days over, or saved us from the brink, brought us back from the edge, or let us go finally, surrendering in the mystery. This is a call to praise the presence of partners who will bake bread or set the tea kettle to boil and sit down for long sighs and deep belly laughter. This is a call to gratitude, that we are not alone, that we are a part of a great history of partners who have promised to go the way of love, that we can travel these days together and remind each other of all this beauty. So may it be. Amen.
I'll invite you to join in singing as you like. What we need is here. 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 What we need. What we need is here.
About my own experiences of transcending mystery and wonder, and how this experience renews my spirit and helps me be open to all the mysterious forces that create and uphold life, my mind easily turns to the natural world. It's in the natural world that I've had many of my transcendent spiritual experiences after all. Whether it's meditating high on a mountain alongside a stream, sinking into the wondrous beauty of a forest, bursting out onto a viewpoint overlooking rolling hills and rivers, or the still grandeur of kayaking a slow-moving slough. These are places of mystery and transcendence. In these places, our hearts may soar and swell with beauty, or we may sink into the mystery and wonder as we notice the interdependence and strange peace of wild things. The beauty of the fierce eagle perched on the tree, the wonder of insects that skim the top of still waters as we see fish and turtles drift beneath, the ancient marvel of mountains, the intertwined interdependence of a prairie. And I notice that I am constantly surrounded by this, perhaps not as grandly all the time, but mystery and wonder are always all around me, always all around us. Perhaps even in a blade of grass, where we might see the universe. These experiences are always available to us. What changes is our openness to these forces, and our openness builds upon itself. So my mind immediately turns to the natural world when I think about my own experiences of transcending mystery and wonder. And I know this is the same for many Unitarian Universalists. Transcendentalism is a part of us, after all. And how this experience renews our spirits and helps us be open to all the mysterious forces that create and uphold life. But then our minds may turn just as naturally to the transcendence, the mystery of art, theater, dance, of human community, to the wonder of watching babies we know grow into passionate, loving, and challenging children and youth, the deep connection of being present with people we love and laughing, crying, wondering, simply being with them, the loving, held community we create when we come together, listening and witnessing to create sacred space, sharing our joys, our sorrows, ourselves. And the challenge and beauty we find in art, in dance, in music that calls us into different experiences, that opens us up to the vast sweep of the human experience, the mysteries of our hearts, the ways we can create and hold space for others in the midst of pain and injustice in this world. There is so much mystery and wonder that comes from witnessing and deeply engaging with other people's stories, including the grief and the joy of them. From going beyond ourselves and seeing not only the similarities of all our experiences and wants and needs and desires, our hopes and dreams and grief, but also delving into the differences of our experiences, how that drives us, how we respond, what we want and think, what we hope for our lives and our communities. There is so much mystery and wonder and awe that comes from engaging with other people's experiences, noticing the similarities, but wondering, noticing the differences too, sorting through how our experiences of the world and how society has shaped us are influencing all of that, holding our own sense of self, but also letting it be changed, letting ourselves be transformed. Because this is part of mystery and wonder. This is part of what it does for us. A life full of wonder is, as they say, a wonderful life. It's a life that invites us to renewal of spirit, that feeds on and into our natural curiosity, zest, and love. And a life that's full of wonder is also a life that beckons us to be open to exploring the forces that create life and our lives. Some of these are cosmic forces, the atoms whizzing about, the stardust that we are made of, the dinosaur tears in the water we drink, our dog's fur absorbing the sun's warmth, the cuddles of those we love, the mystery of how plants grow and become food that delights our mouths and helps us grow, and the cycle of life present under our feet as we move quickly or slowly or mindfully over the ground. And some of the forces that a life of mystery and wonder beckons us to be open to are the so often unseen societal and cultural forces that shape our lives and experiences, that shape a world where we have to examine and deconstruct ideas of masculinity and femininity, where some bodies are valued more than others and are more free or less free to move in safety and openness, whether because of race, gender, ability, or national origin. A world where love is perceived and valued and recognized differently, depending on who and how we love. Mystery and wonder invite us to be open to all of this, to understand it, to dig deeper, and to transform it into experiences and systems that create and uphold life even more. They invite us to not simply be stagnant in our wonder, but to allow it to transform us, that we may create ever more life-giving structures and more peace, love, and justice in this world. They invite us to all of this, even as they help renew our spirits. As Zendaya sings in Smallfoot, which I was watching again recently, take a look around and see the world we think we know. Then look closer. There's more to life than meets the eye, a beauty to behold. It's all much bigger than we know, and it's only just beginning to unfold. So let it all unfold. Far beyond all reason in your mind, there's a world mysterious there for you to find. Dig beneath the surface and find the lessons there to learn, and then dig deeper. May our experiences of mystery and wonder, whether in nature, in community, in a dance performance, or elsewhere, help us do just that. Dig deeper. Be open to the forces that create and uphold life. Be renewed and transform ourselves and the world. So may it be. Blessed be, and amen.
How we give, what we do with our lives, our time, and our resources is a reflection of our values. In response to the abundance we are blessed with, every week this congregation donates generously to organizations in the community whose work aligns with our values and principles. Our community partner this month is the United Action for Youth, which works with youth, parents, and the local community to provide services for teenagers ages 12 to 18 years old. It is a place for youth to have a voice and give back creatively to their community. On the screen, you will see instructions for how to give online, or you may take this time to write a check, address an envelope to UUS to be put in the mail. If you're attending this service here, you can give online, or there's a basket for the checks in the atrium. The usher can help you find it after the service. You may assist our community partner, contribute to the congregation to provide additional support for our operating expenses, or contribute towards your pledge to the society. The offering is a sign of commitment to this free congregation, which is completely supported by the voluntary generosity of all who join us. As we give and receive the offering, may we be transformed by our giving, and may the world be transformed by our gifts. Nurturing gratitude and how we understand and express interdependence is part of how we live into our Unitarian Universalist faith. May what has been shared today help us more fully affirm our interconnection and live into love and justice. Immediately after the service, we will have time for all to join in conversation and community online. And now, to close our service today, we will sing, "Where Do We Come From?" If you are at UUS, please sing softly into your mask, hum, or move your hands and body to the music. If you are at home, please feel free to sing as loudly as you'd like.
So Susan's coming around with some egg shakers. If you are at, here at UUS, Jerry has a drum. If you'd like to shake along, you can shake simply. You can get excited. If you're at home and you need to find a little egg shaker or something, get your pasta box from the kitchen maybe. So if you join in with the egg shakers as you get them, the song goes, "Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are you going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going?" If you'd like to keep that going, you can do that. There's more parts to the song. Let's do that one more time. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Keep that going. Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where do we come from? Mystery, mystery. Life is a riddle and a mystery, mystery, mystery. There we go. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we gone last time? And where do we come from? Where are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? All right, thank you. We'll have the basket for your eggs at the back.
Please join me in the words for extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. All these we carry in our hearts and in our minds until we are together again.
As you go out into the world this week, may you let yourself sink into the mystery and wonder that is all around us all the time, wherever you find it. And may you let it call you into ever deeper wholeness and ever more searching and reaching to live, love more actively, more fully in this world. Go in peace, love, and justice, living love ever more fully and fiercely. Amen, and blessed, blessed be. And now, as we listen to our choral benediction, I invite you to sing with it.
This